The following podcast is an RMG Media production.
It's time we go beyond the handshake. It's time we deepen business relationships and take it to the next level of cultivating and building relationships past that business card exchange and beyond the initial handshake. Welcome to Beyond the Handshake, where we will take a deep dive into getting to know businesses and business owners, why they do what they do in business, what drives them to success, why they work so hard, what they struggle with, what they succeed in, and tips they have for other businesses to learn from their experiences. I am Lucy Miller, founder and CEO of Women Connect. Let's go beyond the handshake. All right. I am so excited for today's episode. One of my very best friends, Jamie Rose Plum, is here. We're going to chat all things starting a business, growing a business friendships, all the things. Yay. So this might be a long one. This will be part one of two parts with Jamie Rose. So excited. Thanks for being here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled to be here. And I'm just really excited about this podcast that you're putting on in general. So
fun.
I feel honored.
So glad. Yeah. Well, I want to first start and hear you talk about your company. I love to hear business women and all business owners just gush about their company. So tell me, and I know a lot of it, but tell us the start, why you started it, the journey.
Okay.
What's next? What's happening?
Whoa, lots of things are happening. So I should say I love to say we, but it's really me.
I do that too.
I know. People are like, who's the we? I'm like,
who's the we?
Me, myself, and I. I started this company, I think it was 2018. A really good friend of mine who I just kind of rely on as a mentor and a friendship. She and I had been going back and forth with business ideas because my kids were going back to school, or my youngest was going to be in kindergarten, and I really wanted to contribute financially to our household, and I don't like to sit still. So even when I was a stay-at-home mom, I was just constantly doing things in terms of a lot of nonprofit work, and of course not being paid for it and all of that. But that filled my time with my kids' activities and such. And when they were both in school, I decided, okay, I have to do something. And I would come up with these ideas and she would say, no, that's not a good idea. And it was great because she was so honest with me about it all. And then one day, I had posted on Facebook that our garage fridge was going out, and she called me up and she said, you know what you're going to do? You're going to get my credit card to Lowe's, and you're going to go to Lowe's and you're going to buy a new fridge. And I know you're going to want to pay me back, even though I don't care if you pay me back, but I want you to go buy the fridge and you're going to pay me back by cooking for me. And she and her husband.
I've never heard this story.
Really?
Yes.
Yes. It was Paula.
I figured that's who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's Paula. So she was the one who really got me started on this. She had asked me for about a year and a half, will you do some private chef meals for me? Because I had always loved to cook and I love to entertain. And I mean, that's something that I've loved to do since I was a kid. So she, sure enough, helped me get it all started. And, she was like, just try it out. If you don't like it, if it's not working out, no sweat off my back. I don't care, whatever. So we did that, and it just kind of took off from there. And it was all prepared meals and delivery.
Okay.
And so then I hired a couple people to come and deliver from my house, and it was a whole thing for years. And
out of your kitchen.
Out of my kitchen.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened, and crazy enough, we got through it. It all worked out. I was homeschooling my kids during that, but still everything was good. And then the ice storm of 21, 22? That was
it's all a blur. I'm thinking 21.
That just about shut us down. It was a disaster. We had hundreds of orders, prepped, cooked, everything. and nobody could get the food from us and we couldn't get it to them.
Go anywhere.
So
killed all the trees.
it was
bad.
so awful. And I mean, in the grand scheme of it all, it's not the end of the world, but still. So I decided that it was time to pivot. So we pivoted with the charcuterie and grazing tables. And then ever since then, it has really just turned into full event catering and private chef services and cooking classes. And then 2 weeks ago, woohoo, we closed on our first brick and mortar. And yes, our first commercial space. And it's in Franklin. And it has been a whirlwind of a couple of months because this wasn't exactly on my radar. But
I've always wanted to do.
I've always wanted to do. It just has never been either the right place or the right time or right financially, all the different things. But it all came together this time. I mean, total God thing, honestly, total God thing. And it is,
awesome.
it's off. Here we go. Yeah. So lots happening.
Yeah. I feel like you fast forwarded through a lot of hard work and a lot of months and things.
Well, yes, I mean, the event world in general is difficult. If anybody has worked in the event industry, there's so many different facets to it, first of all. And second of all, there are no hours. I mean, it's all the time. Day, night, weekends, all the time. You're on call kind of a thing. I've heard stories
of you talking about being up like all night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just about a month ago.
Event the next day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And working the events because you do what you have to do. And if you're in this industry, you love this industry.
Yeah.
If you don't stay in the industry. And I mean, I had been in corporate event production in Los Angeles before we had moved to Franklin, 14 years ago. And so that's really where my background was all of the event production stuff. But we also had a catering company at the company that I worked for, and it was an on-site venue. So I have all of that in my, corporate background kind of a thing. And that kind of just laid the ground for this.
Okay, well, I want to talk about the new venture in a second, but let's talk about some of either your most favorite events or designs you've done. You don't have to name names of the company or the people, obviously. But I know you've done some really cool stuff. One of them being my conference. We can talk.
It was so awesome.
The live conference the last 2 years, Jamie Rose has done all the floral. First, one of the part is she's done all the florals for the tables.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
And I love the flowers.
In her sleep.
I love the flowers.
Yeah, so
I love that aspect of the event production stuff. And I love that I'm able to do that more in the past, I'd say, year or so. So,
because you just take that off of the person hiring you to have to think about that extra detail.
Yes. Really, at the core of what our company does is makes it easier for you to have an event, whether it's small or big or, corporate, private, it doesn't matter. We want it to be a completely hassle-free experience because, like I said, the events are daunting for so many people. Yes. But not for us. It's actually enjoyable, It's actually enjoyable, and we like to plan. We like to help, all of that kind of thing. But also, it's it's a creative release as well. So that's where that floral design aspect comes in for me, definitely.
Well, so is there anything exciting that you've done or? Super creative.
Well, this wasn't creative, but I loved running your event this year.
We didn't talk about that.
That was awesome.
So, day of coordinating for conferences and events, Jamie Rose is your gal.
Yes. That was a blast. It reminded me of what I used to do before having kids, before being married and all of that. And it was so much fun. I loved the intensity of it. And I loved telling people what to do. And everyone had to listen to me. And I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. I need to do this more. So that was a blast.
So keeping speakers in line with what time they need to start, when to get mic'd up. Now it's your turn. You have 30 minutes to the sponsors going on stage, keeping MC on track. wrangling me with questions.
Yeah, and then all the food and beverage managing and
Mhm.
making sure they're on track. The times are all scheduled correctly. Just making sure everything looked correct and that
You need to
everything
add
stayed
that skill
beautiful.
to your website.
Oh, I know. We probably should.
Because you could totally
Yes.
be hired out.
With our new website's coming out in January. So that can get thrown in there too.
Just add a tab.
Add a tab. So many tabs.
So I know I've seen pictures of the most beautiful grazing boards, and then I've seen like a fun Halloween design one.
Yes, that was so fun. We had a client who would hire us every year, and she basically would just say like, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Halloween theme. So we, at this point, I think we were putting up 5 different skeletons into these grazing tables. And a lot of what we do is grazing tables, charcuterie boards, but the grazing tables, anywhere from 4 feet to whatever. We've done a 16-foot one before. And with those, that we build in the heavy appetizers. And my big thing is that it needs to look beautiful and also be delicious. So both of those aspects to it are there, but with the Halloween one, oh my gosh, you just get to have so much fun.
Yeah.
Lots of props, lots of random decor and skeletons and all of that kind of thing. And then of course, there's all the other kinds of grazing tables that we do that are just beautiful, and we build in our floral arrangements to them. I think some of my favorite events have been nonprofit events.
Yeah, you've done a lot
of events for nonprofits. Obviously, it's something that will tug on my heartstrings always, but I also just love the aspect of it all that we can really make something beautiful and delicious, and also help that
cause.
That specific cause by doing that. So there's like a little more, not incentive, but there's just a little bonus, I guess, for those events.
Yeah. I know I've been to several
nonprofit
things you've done.
Yes. And they usually have really neat themes and colors. And also the design aspect of it is just super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know I took my team on a retreat this spring.
Oh, yes.
And there's so much to plan when you're doing something like that. And like, I'm not a foodie, and I know someone who is. So I just said, help me think of what I need to feed 20 ladies, and how am I getting that there? What am I buying? So I loved that you just helped me, like, even when it wasn't things you were preparing for me, give me ideas of things to buy, what meal to have here. And then the casseroles we got from you were amazing. Just, you made it so simple.
It's funny. As you're saying that, I'm thinking, man, I really should meal plan for my family more, because I'm essentially doing that anyway in different forms. Yeah, my poor family. Oh my goodness. I cook all day. I'm around food all day, and I get home and I'm like, who wants pizza?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Yeah. And not the homemade kind.
We really can't do it all. No. And I know we talk a lot about that.
We can't do it all. And you kind of just have to realize that and roll with it.
It's totally fine.
It's totally fine. Everything will be fine. We'll be fine.
Okay, so I want to jump ahead to your new commercial space. I've seen it, been in it. I know what your plans are for it as far as like the way it'll look. But what things will you be adding? Like, how has this helped you pivot into new areas for your business, new streams of income, and things like that?
So the plan for it right now, I mean, we're just now getting into and settled. I would say at this point, we will be cooking out of there tomorrow, like with a big old crew. So that is going to be fun, but it's just really the initial days of getting ready. And the plan for it, though, is to be able to use the space for cooking classes for all ages. I love working with kids. I mean, we're not going to have toddlers in there or anything like that, but I love working with kids, and I love introducing. I mean, I guess we could. I've never really thought about the toddler thing, but I'm really thinking more of like our kids' ages, where they get introduced to different types of foods. And then they can learn to make different types of foods. Maybe they don't enjoy eating those things that they're making, which is fine. That's how my daughter is. And then there's, the kids that are like, my son and like your son
Who would eat
who
anything.
will eat anything you put in front of them and not just eat it. Like they're like, this is amazing. This is so great. So I really want to be able to do that because we haven't done that at all. Where the kids cooking classes.
That's gonna be awesome. And Reese is already asking me.
Yes. I've had a few moms reach out and say, "Hey, are you going to do this?" And we're going to do a summer camp. It's going to be fun. I have lots of plans though. So, Jason, my husband, his favorite thing I say is, "I have an idea." I say it all the time. I have an idea. So
we do
cooking classes. We will use it as our commercial kitchen. It's a big space that is made for both that, but also being able to host events out of there. So we can do private events. We can do meetings out of there. We have screens in there, all of the things. And then we'll continue to do our offsite catering and the grazing tables and all of that. But we'll be able to bring back prepared meals. The plan is to bring those back by February.
Okay, I'm in.
Yes, and that you can come and pick them up and be able to pick up your charcuterie from there and maybe go to Arrington Vineyards, the local vineyard out in Arrington down by us. And, also be able to take these charcuterie boards or boxes to friends' houses, to school events, whatever it might be. So there's just a whole bunch of things.
A lot more you can do out of a space.
Yes.
In your home.
I honestly, I was thinking this weekend, I'm like, we should do a trivia night here. We should do like a games night kind of a thing here. It just lends itself to so much different.
It's such a great location too. Like right in the heart of Cool Springs.
Yeah.
Just close to everything.
Yes. And it's so far, it has been awesome, other than the fact that our internet has not been working yet. But it will tomorrow. So everything will be better tomorrow. It'll be fine. Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited for you.
I know.
As soon as you told me about it, I was like, yes.
It's wild.
You should do that.
It is a
great idea.
wild ride. Yeah. All of it, I never really even imagined how crazy this would be, and running around, the day before closing, like, I got to get this signature notarized and I need to get this license and the health department's coming in 20 minutes. And
okay, so back up on that.
Yeah.
So you've learned a lot. Your whole, time in business, but specifically the last few months in securing a commercial space. So like, what are some of the things you didn't know you'd have to do or pay for? Inspections, I know, are one of them. So
yes.
Talk through that.
Well, being in the food industry, there are a lot of laws and rules and licenses that you have to have in order to operate legally. So in our space, the company that was there prior had a wine license, for instance. And a wine license allows you to have just wine and high gravity beer poured on site for a very reasonable fee annually. And with that, you've got to, I'll be honest, I still haven't even finished filling out all the paperwork because there's only 24 hours in the day and I'm already running myself ragged. But I need to finish that in order to get the wine license. And then, with that comes the servers who have the ABC permit and all of that. Yes. If I wanted, which I'm not planning on doing, a full liquor license, that's a whole other process and way more money and all of that also. But different things like the health permits. And there are I will say I've only met the gentleman one time. He was awesome to work with. We luckily live in Tennessee and in Williamson County, where they're not typically going to shut you down for, not having a no smoking sign up like I didn't have. We don't even know where it went. It was there one day and the next is gone. But,
so
in another state, they very well could shut you down until they can come back. But everything was good with that. So we got our health permit, have my sign up, all is well. But then you have to get your business license with the city. And I didn't even need one with the city. until I got
Until
this
the
space.
Okay.
Yes, because I'm not before where we were operating, I was not in city limits. So a lot of the things didn't really apply.
Interesting.
And now we are. And then also you have to have your county license also. I mean, there has been so many different things, that you just don't think about. I think you and I have talked about this. I wish that somebody out there, so maybe somebody who's like coming out of college wants to figure this out, but really there should be some sort of a course that is sold here, at least. I don't know about elsewhere, but at least here that will tell you what you need to do to be operating legally. Because I had to hire our attorney to handle that and to make sure that I was compliant with everything and that all my licenses, even down to, the website. And
there's
special things that you have to have for your website so that people aren't, feeling like they're harassed with spam and all the different things. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about mashed potatoes and sweet potato casserole. And I'm not kidding. I'm driving over here thinking, okay, we are going to need at least 100 pounds. I did not bring you any brie. I did not bring you. Oh my gosh. Lucy loves her brie. Loves her brie. If it's somewhere, you're not getting any of it. Yep. She loves her brie. No, but at the core, my experiences.
You're thinking about your business. You're not thinking about the.
Yes, I'm thinking about my specific things that my business is providing, not about all of those little things, sales tax.
But that's so true about every business. You think about it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The person that you are the expert in what you're doing and providing the service, you're not thinking about all those things, whether it be legal or all your bookkeeping.
Right. Or, just sole proprietorship versus an LLC and so on and so forth. There's all these different things that I really feel someone could create a business out of. So there's my idea for the day.
There's another. She's got lots of ideas. Somebody create this and have it all packaged up.
Yes, exactly. Just to be able to, because I would have bought that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's really taken me 5 years to get to this point, which I don't know if that's a long time or a short time. It just is. Like that. Yeah, it is what it is. And here I am. And I do feel confident now, though, that I've taken care of it all. Everything is locked in. Yes. Everything's locked in. We've got insurance. We've got all the different things that we need. Yep. We're good. Yes.
Yeah.
So you could check that off on my massive to-do list.
Now you can think about mashed potatoes.
I'm going to.
We've not talked about mashed potatoes in any of our podcasts so far. So here we are.
I'll tell you. We make some good mashed potatoes, but that sweet potato casserole, I have a handful of clients who they love to cook their own holiday meals, but that sweet potato casserole. They order it.
Okay.
The second it gets put online for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's a loyal following there.
I do. I have amazing and loyal clients, and I have a feeling people are going to be very excited when we bring the prepared meals back because a lot of people were pretty bummed about that. Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So for those of you listening, Jamie Rose and I are really good friends. We talk all the time. Our boys are on baseball together. We usually are talking each other's heads off about everything going on.
Yes.
But one theme that I feel like consistently comes up is that business ownership is a roller coaster.
Oh,
it is a crazy roller coaster. And I'm on it. I know you're on it.
Yep.
What are things that... this isn't just about the shiny, happy things. So if you could look back over the years, what are things that you would say have been really, really hard about running your business? Things that have really challenged you to change and improve yourself or things you just had to cope with and get through? And then how do you cope?
So I think for me, the mom guilt is really hard, really tough to deal with. I have an amazing mom, crazy amazing mom, and she stayed home with all 4 of us kids. And I honestly don't know how she did that because we are crazy, all four of us. And Lucy knows. She knows us all. We are all crazy and awesome. Yes. But she stayed at home. And so that was the example that I saw. And just being a little different, I really just wanted, my own thing. And I've kind of always been like that. And having kids, I mean, I want to be with them all the time. I want to do all the different things that they're doing.
But you do. You're everywhere.
Well, I try.
Okay.
I try. Like right now, though, I told Lucy, one of my kiddos is homesick. And my husband is amazing and left his office in Nashville and went to go get her so that I could continue working. But the balance there is, for me, the way that I guess I should, not balance, the coping way that I'm doing it for now. And I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I am trying to show them that it is possible for a woman to be able to work in the home and out of the home, and also to have ownership over something beyond herself and her family.
Yeah, I love that.
So
and they see you doing that.
I think so. I hope so. I know that not all the time that they don't. I know that, especially right now where I'm having lots of late nights and, working every single day, and I'm at the shop daily doing something where maybe I could be at home playing games or, taking them out to the movies and that kind of thing, or even just driving them around and their friends around to their different activities. I'm trying to balance all of that with work. Sometimes it works.
Yeah.
And other times it absolutely does not. And it's a complete disaster. And that's that. But I think that just being aware that it's not going to be perfect, I think that's really like the only way that I am coping with all of that. So it's just been a bit of a roller coaster with the mom guilt for sure. But also my kids are of the age where they're starting to work the events with me. And like June is phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's so good with the clients. She herself is a creative, soul. So she's got all of that going. Also, I mean, she dressed me today. She did. And that's just her thing, is just being creative in all sorts of ways, which ties totally into what I'm doing. So I'm glad that she's able to see that, and that they're both getting that kind of work ethic that my parents passed on to us. Because my mom, I say that she was a stay-at-home mom, but that woman worked and ran multiple nonprofits, never getting paid a penny, all while raising the four of us. I'm talking like literally running the nonprofits for 30, 35 years and continuing to do so now. So she may not have had a career that she got paid for, but that woman has helped more people,
I'm sure,
than really, honestly, than anybody I know. Like it was just amazing. So to be able to see that work ethic also was really inspiring, and I want to do that for my own kids.
Yeah.
So but that to me is the biggest ride on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think like prior to being a mom or having a career or even a company, you see like what you think is like the picture perfect of like mothers. And, that could be a very career-oriented woman, but also still doing everything perfectly. And that's not reality. And I think like if you're really having a real conversation with somebody that's doing lots of things, even someone that is solely focusing as a stay-at-home mom, it still probably feels that way too.
Right.
That it's chaos some days and great others. But what I feel like I appreciate the most about many of the friendships I have is how much of a village it takes to raise the
Yes.
kids and then still be able to focus and excel in things that you're doing personally.
Right.
Like the times that I've been like, can I just drop my son off at your
yeah.
house? And I mean, I get a text back
Yeah.
from you before I'm even like done typing, like the details, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
And
actually, that even helps me to
It
be
does,
honest.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, of course. And, it helps that your kids are sweet
Well,
and kind and
but
well-mannered
I mean,
and all the different things. But
even just helping each other
is.
with support
It
too,
is.
like you're going to be okay,
Yeah.
or how can I help, or even just
Yes,
listening.
for sure.
So,
I think you and I have definitely succeeded at surrounding ourselves
yeah,
with just amazing women and men too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my husband is awesome and he'll step in wherever anybody needs. And Knight is incredible. I mean, for me all the time, like if I need something, I know that I can call on him. There's a handful of our friends who just happen to be men who are so supportive and will help me out with the kids, help me out, picking up stuff and there's just so much. There's just so much. But yeah, we've surrounded ourselves with a really awesome group of people in general who kind of see our vision and want to help us make all of that a reality. So that's been, I think, successful for both of us.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I don't think we could do it without it, honestly.
I mean, I've even asked, remember when it was like, Knight, what do you think about this business plan?
Oh, yeah.
And seriously, I'm like, okay, Jason, this is what's happening. I talked to Knight about it.
He says it's great.
He did say it was great, but he also would have told me if it wasn't.
Yeah, he would have.
Yes. And so even just advice-wise, that we can go to somebody within our group and pick each other's brains, because all of our experiences are different.
Yeah. Different backgrounds.
Completely.
Different strengths.
Yes. And that's what, I mean, obviously that's kind of what friendship is all about, is our using each other's strengths and helping each other out with those different strengths. So.
Well, because my husband and I are so different. He would say, well, let's look at your business plan together. And I'm like, yes, do it.
And I was like, now
analyze
my
it.
business plan's awesome.
Yes,
actually, I'm very proud of that.
Yes.
I worked for years on that thing, and I am not even exaggerating. It took about 2 years to finish.
How did you learn how to do that?
Tammy Osborne.
Okay, we're going to talk to Tammy later about this.
Yes. She held a course over at Sapphire Suite, and I was kind of the course dropout. Not really. I took the course, and it was a really trying time in life where my grandfather had passed away, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff that was happening that was kind of traumatic. And I ended up not being able to finish the class because I did have to go out of town for my grandfather's funeral. And she had the class again, and I was like, can I take it again? So I took it again.
I need a little help.
And then from there, I really, I felt like I could not, for whatever reason, finish it. Like I was like, I don't know where this company is going. I don't exactly know what the mission statement should be. I know what it is right now, but I feel like there's way more to what I want to do. And so just in the past couple of months when this space became available and the concept
pedal to the metal.
Yes. Then it was like, okay, I have to do this. And I did. I finished it in a weekend. And I mean, I had showed it to my dad, and he said, so who did this? And I said, I did. And he said, you did this? And I was like, yeah. It's like, wow.
Oh, he was proud.
Yeah, he was really proud. I was like, okay, thanks, Dad. Yeah, because I did it.
That's cool.
Yes. So that was hard, but thank goodness for Tammy and the courses that she hosts at Sapphire Suite. That otherwise, honestly, I don't know how I would have started.
Yeah.
That's
feels
another
like a
thing.
daunting task.
That's another thing with starting a business is the business plan aspect of it. I did not, like I said, I didn't know how to do that until I took that class. So for years, I didn't have a business plan.
You're just going.
Just flying by the seat of my pants, which I still feel like I'm doing half the time, but not as much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So to your younger self, you might say, do the business plan.
I still think, this is just my thought on this, But I still think that starting the business and then doing the business plan is a good idea. Now, I don't think you can do that when you are obviously, going into a commercial space
Right.
or let's say
have
buying
more
property
prepared.
right. You have to, you actually have to in order to, get loans and all that kind of stuff too. But I do think that maybe you reevaluate and go through and adjust things as your business expands and grows and all of that, because
it can change. I feel like it can change so
and
much.
it should change, I think, right? I mean, nobody starts off saying like, well, I want to start Amazon and it's going to, everybody in the world is going to use it and we're going to have drones dropping off packages. Like, I just can't imagine that that's how he started.
To that.
Yes, it continued to evolve. And as that happened, I'm sure he continued to evolve his business plan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's something that we should all do like once a year or something like that.
Kind of like setting goals.
Yeah. Because that's really what the business plan is.
Yeah.
It's all the goals.
We should gather a group for lunch in January and we can talk through out loud like business plan changes and goals
just
too.
Ideas for growth for each other, being on the outside too of each other's businesses and all that, because being in the business, you don't get to see everything from the outside. It's a completely different.
Yeah, it is.
A completely different view. Even, as let's say you as a client, you see things and maybe want things differently from us that I wouldn't even think about.
Perfect.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. All that brie.
All that brie. Just keep the brie coming.
More brie. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, we're not going to get through all the questions
I know.
For you. Okay, we're going to skip ahead. So I want to talk about, because I
like
know.
to talk.
Yeah, I figured this would be long.
Yeah.
So you've grown, you've changed, you've pivoted, you've added services, and I know you're working more on not being in the business so much, working on the business.
Yes.
So what are things you've learned that you needed to delegate, and then how is that working for you?
So first let me tell you that the reason I am working on it by realizing that I can't be in the business and be working on the business was from the live conference.
Okay.
Two live conferences ago, I believe. I heard one of the speakers say that and it really hit me. Like, oh yeah, I cannot run all this and handle the finances and the planning and the ordering and recipe, creation and also cook and prep and handle florals. I mean, it's just insane. Now, sometimes I still do that, which is why at times I'm up all night and,
well,
because
you have to step in.
Yes, because that's what happens. Like, you are the business owner. And so who else is going to do it? No, nobody. I am. So there's that. But being in the business, I realized that, or wanting to be in the business, I realized that I needed to delegate big time. So I hired a chef.
Okay.
We took on more event staff. I kind of went through using a couple assistants, then took a break from that as they both went to different career paths, and now have taken on an assistant again who, oh my word, she's amazing.
Oh,
well, I mean, like I would be drowning with the space right now if it hadn't been for that. So that was a good delegation. And all of these delegations cost money, right? Right. Everything costs money.
Right.
There is so much that goes on with businesses that people have no idea about. The different fees you're paying for everything. The fact that we charge sales tax, but that also means we have to pay the sales tax, and it's due monthly on a certain day, and all the things that come with that, and the business taxes and the insurance and blah, 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 blah. All these different things. So to have somebody there to help me with that is huge. I moving into this space got my own office.
Yeah.
Which was really a huge deal for me, because if you ever saw me at Sapphire Suite, I was constantly pulling around a giant Hulken bag with like 30 different files. It had multiple bags within it and all my stuff. It was like a desk within this giant bag. And with that, you just don't feel as organized. You don't feel as prepared or as productive at the end of the day. And so I had just kind of realized, like, I have outgrown this. I need
have a
my
stable spot.
own stable spot that I can go to every day. And that has helped me a ton, just to be able to have everything in one place. I mean, it's kind of the same thing now that I'm saying this about all of our event decor and all of that, because before this, we had all of our event decor and the plates and dishes and rentals and everything, all the charcuterie boards, everything was in my attic.
Yeah.
Which is a big attic, but also so annoying to go up and down stairs
I
to get it.
I mean, it's terrible.
It was awful. So again, amazing staff who helped with all of that. But I think, being able to delegate and have my own space has been really helpful. And I honestly just see that getting even better and being able to be more productive as a result of having the space too, because it has been kind of chaotic and even just like a little anxiety inducing and unnerving to be going and being pulled in so many different directions for whatever reason it may be. So a lot. Yeah. There's always a lot going on. And I do love to fly by the seat of my pants. I do. I mean, like that's it. There are parts of my life that I love to have organized, and I love to organize. But then there are other parts where I don't want things to be boring. I don't want my life to be boring, And that's
we are busybodies.
We're busybodies. I'm like, oh, what's happening? Okay, let's go do that now. Like that's just how I am, and I've always been like that. So
this is perfect for you.
Yeah.
So perfect.
It is perfect.
I love it.
Totally.
Okay, I want to talk about something I talk about a lot with Women Connect and what we see at events and part of our community is obviously business is done and referrals are made, but the business friendships that are made. And I love that term. I'm using it a lot now because to me it means a genuine relationship with someone, becoming a friend, and then you've got that trust factor on doing business together. So, do you have some examples of where you have that in your life? I mean, to me, you're a prime one.
Oh my gosh. Well, you are.
But I mean,
for sure.
But like, because you've had some big impacts. I feel like.
Oh, thank you. But I think that other people have had huge impacts on me. Your company is a huge part of that. So many, we say business besties, but really, these are like some of my best friends in life, inside business and outside business. You are definitely one of them. KJ would be another, where she has a hospitality background. Her husband is a phenomenal fine dining chef. And they have Katrine, the taco truck.
I love it.
And it's so good. And she is such a great sounding board, and I trust her so much that if she says to me, I don't think that's going to work, I know that that's not going to work. She has the experience there. She has the knowledge. She knows. And really, as a result of that, I gained her husband also as a friend and mentor as well. And I'll be honest, I took them to the space before I even told Jason, my husband, that I was looking at it, because I thought, okay, she's got the hospitality aspect down, but also she knows me like inside and out. And then he has the food aspect and the kitchen experience. So they'll be able to give me good advice.
Yep.
That if this is
something
I should think about.
Y'all are friends also. So it's just awesome mesh.
We say we're like family. Is what family. Like, I mean, we spend the holidays together and all of that. And she's KJ's so close to June, which again is like a huge deal to me that June has somebody to look up to in that sense, who is just killing it in business, but is also an awesome person. I mean, you are exactly the same way too. I mean, we travel together.
Yeah.
Our kids are all best friends. Our husbands are great friends, and they coach together and all the things that I know that I can go to you with the relationship that we have, and that I can trust you to give me the best advice, but that also like that you have my back.
Right.
I mean, we've talked about that before.
Drop everything and run.
Yeah, we have talked about that before, that you need somebody, you need a handful of people in business who will have your back no matter what. So Women Connect has helped with that. Sapphire Suite has helped with that immensely. I mean, I don't even like use vendors or anything unless somebody has given me a recommendation from within one of those two groups. And the good thing with all of that is, again, there's so many different women in these groups with so many different strengths and experiences that you can really go to any of them and they'll help you out. Yeah. I mean, Erin Arnett with finance, like, you know, she's a go-to for help with all of that kind of stuff, all of the financial stuff, which I absolutely cannot stand. And also she's a hoot. So there's that too. Yeah. So there's that also. But I mean, you know, there are just a lot of strengths within these business friendships that, I mean, that I hope we're all relying on each other for. So I hope that others are feeling the same way about me too.
Oh,
that
100%. Yeah, all the things you said are exactly what.
Just trying to pick each other's brain. I tell Tammy all the time, sometimes I want to write these emails that are like not nice. And then I say, Tammy, can you reword this for me to sound appropriate? She's like she's like my chat GPT.
Yes, in person.
Yeah.
GPT.
She's my in-person chat GPT. You know, but I mean, she's a reference for so much more. She's just incredible. And her experience in all sorts of different, you know, types of businesses is just invaluable. So there's just a lot of women that we are surrounded, by that are fantastic. We're really lucky.
I know. We are. Yeah, I'd say it a lot, but I have more amazing women in my life than I ever thought possible. And I did not have that before I started Women Connect. I did.
Yeah.
I had plenty.
Yes.
But now in the business world,
right.
It feels so different. Like the business friendships, the support, the expertise in areas that I don't have. And if nothing else, like a hype girl.
Yeah. I really feel like that also, just thinking about even, this is going to sound ridiculous, but even just like waking up in the morning and like getting ready for the day and preparing like what I'm going to wear and all of this, it was a completely different mindset when I finally had made some really great friends and in business specifically, where it's like, okay, these are kind of like my office family kind of a thing, which I hadn't had in so long. And when I was working for the event company in California, oh my gosh, you know, again, event industry, you're working every day, all hours of the night. I mean, at one point, we were on a I don't even know, site trip with a big name car company for a month. We literally, we were together for everything for a month. And you get to know these people like family. Yeah. To the point though, where you're a solopreneur and all of a sudden it's like, where's that office family? Like, where are the people who are cracking jokes even just to lighten the mood during a stressful day? Where are the people encouraging you and hyping you up? Yeah. All of those different things. So when you're an entrepreneur, it's really hard to find that group. But then once you do, oh my goodness.
All the difference. Yeah.
A huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah.
And now I don't wear like leggings and sweats all the time.
But if you do, it's okay.
I mean, if you do, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
Yeah. Okay. So wrapping us up here, because I know you are a master connector.
Oh.
You really are.
So
you are. Well, we have that in common for sure.
Yes.
But what does Beyond the Handshake mean to you?
Oh my gosh. I think that that just ties right back to what we've been talking about, is having each other's backs. I mean, really, that's what it's all about, is being able to encourage one another, but also to stick up for each other, to know that we live in a world that's filled with social media and people just thinking off the cuff and putting it onto the internet, and things may not necessarily be true, or just not something that you want out there, that kind of a thing. And to be able to have women who are there to lift each other up and not tear them down. I mean, wow. Huge. It just in the world right now that we're in, it seems to be all about how to tear each other apart and split each other up and all the different things. So to be able to move beyond that handshake and to really have genuine friendships within business and beyond is really, really powerful. I mean, really powerful. Like, I'm just thinking now I have all this like flood of things that are coming to me, but seriously, like were things that we have had to discuss and endure and work through together. I don't know how some of this stuff I would have ever gotten through it without my business besties. Right. But really, I don't know. So business in itself is a huge blessing. I've been able to create the business and work on and in it and, show that I am capable of doing this. But also beyond that is the fact that I've been able to gain these genuine friendships and,
just have more joy in your life.
Have more joy and even just a family out here. When maybe, it's hard. It's hard in all sorts of ways. So yeah. I feel very fortunate.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on today.
Yay.
This was just part one. So we want to reconnect back with Jamie Rose and in maybe like 6 months.
Okay.
And we're going to hear or something like that. And we want to hear how it has been going in your space.
Yes.
And your new challenges, your new successes at that point.
Challenges. Everything's going to be perfect.
Well,
it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
So big, you're going to need a second space or something. Who knows? But
oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I know.
But we'll connect back on that next time. But thanks for coming on. This was awesome.
Thank you. What an honor. Thank you.